at this morning. 22 degrees currently, cloudy skies, some freezing morning fog. Chance of snow this afternoon, maybe an inch more, possibly. Highs into the lower 20s, we're at 22 now. Lows tonight, 8 to 12 above, lower 20s tomorrow. A chance of snow tomorrow after midnight into Wednesday. And then cloudy skies, highs around 20, lows around 10, all the way into the weekend. Not too bad going into December. We do have an accident to report on the downtown area. Avoid northbound Pegger and eastbound Airport roads down to one lane due to a traffic accident, okay? So once again, that's from the Fairbanks Police Department. Avoid the northbound Pegger and eastbound Airport roads as they're down to one lane. Bit of an accident. Try to find a different route if you could through there. Be careful. Drive careful. Roads are very slippery this winter. That's one thing. One thing I've noticed is just how slippery the roads are. They have been a bit on the slippery side. Hey, after a long weekend, getting into the holidays, getting ready to cook and eat and everything, how about a good foodie roundup? We haven't done one in a while. What's the hell? Time for a foodie roundup. Always fun. Because I love food. 5 foods you probably should not buy in bulk. You ready for this? Spices. Most dried spices stay fresh for 2 to 3 years, but unless you do like a lot of cooking, a huge container is going to probably go bad before you use it up. Depending on the spice or something. Garlic powder or something? No, because we'll go through tons of that. Coffee. Probably won't go bad, but it's going to lose a lot of its flavor and aroma, so it won't be as good if you buy coffee in bulk. Unless you don't care. If you're like my old man, a big can of Folgers could sit up there for years. He'll drink it. Flour tends to attract and retain moisture. It only lasts about 18 months on a shelf, so don't buy too much of it all at once. Nuts. They've got natural oils that can go rancid or grow mold and can even if you can eat an entire Costco bucket of nuts in one sitting, well, they also have a lot of calories, so you probably shouldn't do that. So don't buy your nuts in bulk. Finally, condiments. Again, most of us don't put a ton of them on our food, so you buy a huge bottle of ketchup. Decent chance it'll go bad before you use it all, unless you're way, way into ketchup. All right, let's take a look around fast food. Oh, if you ever look at any list of the discontinued fast food items, it's probably going to include Burger King's Cine Minis. They're like little miniature cinnamon rolls, and they had them on a breakfast menu from 98 to the mid-2000s. Well, they're bringing them back. They just put the Cine Minis back on their menu. $1.49 for 4 of them. Another reason to get back out onto base. I usually would solicit one of our listeners at Fort Wainwright to score me a Whopper with cheese. I'm not above doing that because I don't ever get out on base. So if there's anybody out there listening, I could use a Whopper with cheese. And we're right in town if you come off base. I'm just saying, use a Whopper with cheese. Deborah, my old partner, her husband was military, so she would go out on base a lot and would always and she's not here to bring me back a Whopper with cheese. I know. All right, and finally, there's a time when, even though some cereals really seem like desserts and taste like desserts and were desserts, they claim, no, we're still a cereal. Well, that line is just getting shattered over and over. In the past year, we've already seen like Chips Ahoy, Nutter Butter, Sour Patch Kids, and Dippin' Dots turned into cereal. Dippin' Dots cereal. Sour Patch Kids cereal. Ugh. Now, Hostess and Post announced they're teaming up with 2 dessert-to-breakfast conversions. Honey Bun cereal and Powdered Donut cereal. Both of them hit stores next month. You're already in the car, aren't you? You're in line for your Powdered Donut cereal. Or just have Powdered Donuts. Why? Dip those in milk anyway. All right, let's see here. Now, Maria and I like to travel. We're older now, so we do more traveling. I've done my share of globe trotting. It's always fun. And you have those good experiences traveling where everything just works. You get on one flight, the next you're there, and it's like clockwork. I've been pretty lucky, knock on wood, over the years. I've had delays and it happens. But then you get those things that are just like, wait, what? New survey found 35% of people say they've had all-out nightmare travel experiences. Here's 8 of the most extremes. Here's one: flying into a storm, being told to get into a crash position for the landing. All right, that would suck. Having to spend 5 nights in an airport because all hotels fell through. 5 nights. That's brutal. Breaking a foot after getting it tangled in a suitcase strap. Okay. Being vomited on by a child. Making not 1, not 2, 3 emergency landings. Can you imagine going through that? Here's the thing. After each one, you got to be saying, man, my luck is, I'm probably the safest guy to travel with now because there's no way that's, the odds. Getting choked by another passenger. Well, that wouldn't be good. Another passenger joking about a bomb threat, which delayed the plane. Oh, an idiot on board. I hate an idiot on board. Number 1, worst nightmare, having a man die 1 row over. Okay. That would, Ours wasn't nearly that bad. Our trip flying over, we took Condor Air, and they were late getting into Fairbanks. We're going to Frankfurt. This is in August. And so they're an hour late to begin with. We had like a 4 or 5 hour layover in Frankfurt to go to Amsterdam. So we're going, okay, we're good. Well, you'd think so. But we're in the flight. They land, they pick everybody up, and we take off. What they didn't do was clean out the toilets. They didn't pump them. They came from Anchorage or wherever, didn't pump them. So we're 6.5 hours into like a 9-hour flight. And they announced that the toilets don't work anymore. Because we used them earlier and they were fine. I was okay. And Maria said, hey, I had to go to a second one because that one didn't work. Huh. Well, then we found out why. They were full. They didn't pump them. So then we're like an hour and 15 minutes out of Frankfurt, and they decide, they come on, go, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to divert to Manchester. We're right between England and Ireland up there. We're flying in. And so we divert to Manchester. We're an hour and 15 minutes from our destination, only to find out Manchester has a big storm. So we circle Manchester for 90 minutes. We could have landed in Frankfurt by then. Now everybody that had to go is really holding it. So they pump it out. Everybody gets to go to the bathroom. We get to Frankfurt. We, of course, miss our flight to, we have to stay in Frankfurt, where we get a case of bed bugs. And we find this out later in the trip, so we end up taking all of our stuff, getting rid of a few things, getting rid of all of our luggage, taking everything to the dry cleaner. Everything was fine, but that's how our trip to Europe started. By the way, I called Condor Air and they didn't care. I'm just saying now. I'm throwing them under the bus now. They could have at least thrown me a bone. I think they offered me like a $50 coupon on my $2,000 ticket. Hey, thank you. That was awesome. I wish they would have been on that flight with me. 8:32, Crapper Creek World News Report on the way. You got a good travel nightmare? Call me, 457-5957. I want to hear it.